Well, as you can see, today is a pretty dank, wet day. So, Tuesday the 4th. It's, it was overcast yesterday. It didn't get much rain until late. Well, it wasn't that much actually, even then. But rain's been falling here since mid-morning. And it's now coming up to just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's got more overcast. There is a typhoon in the south. I don't know if it's going to come through our way, or if it's going to go more across us, go more westward. I'm not quite sure, but this is probably on the edges of that at the moment. No builders here today because of other commitments that they've had to get involved in. So, unfortunately, we haven't got any work going on today or yesterday. So the last work done here was on, when was it? It was on Saturday. Yeah. So this week's been a pretty slow week for getting stuff moving. And there's a lot of work here to do. We've got a lot of materials here. I want to get the steps done. I want to get the finishing off of the guttering now again on the front. And we're going to get I'm glad we haven't got the floor down yet in the actual marine ply, because it would have been sitting here a long time while we got other things done. So, yeah. Oh well, we lost the little chick, as you see. It was inevitable, actually. Okay, so it's Wednesday the 5th. Quite a lot of rain in the night as well. So over the last few days, which I didn't want to talk about, was Mikey. Actually, Mikey came down with a very high fever and feeling sick, vomiting, sick. This started last week, not this week. High temperature, terrible. Obviously couldn't go to school. During last time, it turned out to be dengue. Now dengue, certainly as everyone knows in the Philippines, is a disease that comes from mosquitoes. Like malaria, but slightly different to malaria. Malaria is a parasite, and dengue is a virus, but caused by mosquitoes, basically. Anyway, Mikey didn't have to go to hospital or anything like that, and he's still off school now. So he got a rash, and he got our treatment basically. Something very important to know about the differences between dengue and malaria. Malaria is treatable, although it kills more people in the world, or has done really up to now. There is better treatments now that cure malaria. Malaria can be beaten in terms of medicinal developments, particularly more recently. With dengue, there's no cure. You've got to just run the course with it, and the course is mainly keeping yourself well hydrated consistently, and just go through it, get through it. It can always come back as well, like malaria. It can return. Not all dengue is lethal. Let's be clear as well. People when they hear of the dengue, they go, "Oh my God, we're going to die." No, you don't. But you've got to be sensible. First of all, try not to get bitten by mosquitoes in the first place. And there's only a particular type of mosquito, dengue-carrying mosquito, that can give you this problem, of course. But even if you get bitten by one, you don't necessarily get dengue. And then if you get dengue, you don't necessarily get the most lethal element of the virus into your system. But whatever you get, it's all about hydration mainly, and getting the bloods back to normal. Luna! However, dengue is also very nasty, and he was very ill for a few days. One stage we were looking at it possibly not being dengue, but being even something more serious than that. We're concerned about other things, like, well, I won't say what they are, because the point here, because I'm always come with a positive point of view in this. Anyway, look, he's had medicines of such to keep it at bay. His temperature's back to normal. He had very high temperature, very high fevers. Obviously, the main worry for us latter last week and the earlier part of this week was getting Mikey through his ordeal, which we did, of course, and got that. But that's why I didn't want to talk about it while we're going through the whole process. I'd rather, tell you more about it when we've got through the process, as giving you that kind of dialogue when we've got lots of things happening. And look, I had malaria actually in South Africa many. I was still in my 20s, probably late 20s. When I lived in White Nelspruit, I suddenly got taken with malaria and had lots of, again, not a nice thing to have, it took a lot. It put me off work for quite a while, and even in hospital with it for a short period of time in South Africa, while they were trying to establish what it was. But these living in the tropical areas of the world can have their ups and downs, shall we say. The other thing, of course, that's happened more recently is this big hit, another typhoon that's hit the Philippines. That it was south of us and travelling west, so we missed out on most of it. We only got some rain, being Luzon. But again, a lot of devastation in Cebu and that area. Major flooding in particular. Flooding is one of the main issues. Again, with modern technology and better warnings, more people are being warned in advance, so it makes it a lot easier to get people out of danger zones far quicker. But flooding has been significant. If you look at how it's been moving through Cebu, it's significant, the amount of damage caused there. We are supposedly coming to the end of our typhoon season, or towards the end of it, but you can never really tell totally. I mean, these are natural processes that go on, which you listen to the experts. I mean, these are things we need in the world. Actually, it's natural. These aren't, you know, the major ocean basins, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. You know, the storms are severe more years than others in all of those regions, and are all to do with moving the heat from the tropical parts of the world, the central parts, to the northern and southern parts, the poles. So when one basin has a severe number, the other basins are more relaxed with them. They don't have so many apparently, and then this is how the process of enhanced weather in the world works. Of course, Philippines, we are renowned for being where we're situated, for catching a lot of them. I mean, the one that's hit us now, it's gone west over us, and it's going towards Vietnam now. So we're going to hit Vietnam. Apparently it's going to be quite a severe one for them. So usually they hit mass and they die down, they die even out. In this one, it's sort of gone over the Philippines and built up again as it goes across the ocean towards Vietnam. So I'm not sure where it could divert to from there. I mean, it's not unknown for them to come back as well on a different route as they go round. So it can happen. Luzon has been lucky for this particular one, but yeah, we just got to be aware of them. That's what we have to do. They become part of life, and as we know, we balance typhoons with other things in life. And yeah, you got to just take necessary precautions when you're in that zone, and watch out for them. But technology these days is a real benefit. There's no doubt. Luna, what are you doing? Luna, wait. Luna, come here. Yeah, I get worried that she's lurking in a place where all the wood is, and where she's going to find either something like a toad, or she's going to find a snake down there. Hey, come on, out of there. Luna, go and find your puppies, go on. Something else I've got to put in the video that I just want to, which I thought about when I was just got back to my room here. That is more for expats. People are coming out here to live for the first time, who are not used to moving to tropical countries on a very regular basis. And if you're going to live in the province as well, I mean, there are many things you can look up and read about in terms of living in a tropical country as a Westerner, the kind of things you should be prepared of. And the basics are obviously what I've been mentioning in the video, the hydration and stuff like that. But what is important, what Richie and I always do, is we have a medical kit. We have our own medical kit and supplies. We've learned over the years that, you know, people get cuts on the compound, falls, and they need to be patched up even if they're going to go to the doctors or hospital, they need to be patched up before we get them there, cleaned and patched up and stuff like that. So plasters, bandages, creams, ointments, disinfectants, things for burns, things for easing. There's a variety of different products in Europe and in the Philippines that work. So we maintain a very good emergency first aid kit in our home, substantial one, so we can do quite a lot of things with it. So we've got also got kit like thermometers, and we've got we can read things like oxygen levels. We've got what do they call it? I don't even know what they call it. Thing you put on your finger, and you can measure your oxygen level in your bloodstream, and also keeps your heart rate. We've got blood pressure machine. I mean, I've got a smart watch, so I can do an ECG. I can also do blood glucose. I can do a lot of things with that as well. So we've got a kit. We've got a thermometer. Some simple thing like a we know when someone's got a fever, but just having a thermometer so you know exactly what the temperature is. I mean, Mikey's temperature was up to just over 40 when he was in full fever format, and of course by keeping his temperature under control and getting it down and keeping it down, we were in track of it. So we can do a lot of that stuff ourselves. Coming prepared means you can deal with things far more effectively, and you can take it hour by hour by hour by hour and work it and make it work. Now, you don't need to run to the doctor for every single issue. As I've always said, sure, when we're not sure what we're dealing with, we need to get an assessment, we need to get blood tests, we need to get things to know what we're dealing with. But once we know what we're dealing with, we can then make good decisions ourselves to make those things happen. So good first aid is always a knowledge of it, knowing what you've got to do. Knowing how to keep people hydrated when they can't keep themselves hydrated. All this kind of stuff is very, very important. I raise this because obviously it's something that over the last week, unbeknownst to everyone watching my videos at them, but Richie and I were doing this for Mikey and keeping him in check and going at it. So it's important. It's important as you come here. You're not in England. You're in a country with a significant change in the climate, and there's things flying around here as well that make a difference. Now, not just the mosquito. I mean, mosquitoes is one. Obviously spiders. There aren't any lethal poisonous spiders here, but there are spiders that will give you a nasty bite and can cause irritation. I've told you about various other things to look out for out of that fall out of the trees, etc. But the thing is to be sensible about it, and I say, do it before you come. Get a bit of knowledge about life of living in a tropical country, and then you will, of course it's hot here. Of course if you like, I love the heat, so it's no problem for me. I enjoy the heat. You've got to love the heat. You've got to like the fact that you sometimes are going to have days that are going to hit the 40 mark, and you're going to have days where you're going to have high humidity, very high humidity. You're going to have days where it's going to come down in buckets, the rain, far more rain than what you see in the UK. You're going to have days where there's no rain at all for months as well, and it's going to happen like that as well. So these things are all having an impact on the body, of course. What you eat, what you drink, are key in how you build your body up. Even medication that you've taken in the UK, because your body is different here, it can change. So you've got to track your medication needs as you come here. Many people actually end up using less medication when they come here. People in particular who take blood thinners and things like that, blood thins on its own to a degree over here, so you don't need to take that sort of medication. But familiarizing yourself beforehand, knowing it's all available online and it's very easy to do. It's a simple thing. No one ever says anything. I've never seen anything anywhere where someone says, any vlogger, I mean, where they say, I'll bring my first aid kit and these are all the things I have in it. I've never heard anyone talk about it, actually. To me, I think it's an essential thing to have in your home in the Philippines. And you just keep it stocked up with all those ointments and disinfectants and bandages and plasters and painkillers for things for fever, things for pain, for pain relief that make life easier when it hits you at the time. Very key, very important. Take care.